Hey everyone, welcome back to Under the Covers. I'm Charlie.
And I am Nick, and I need to apologize to everybody for my demeanor in the last episode. We had how you say drink too much and not eat enough. Um,
I don't think you need to
was
apologize, but man, you came in a lot quieter this time around.
Yeah, that's the hangover talking here today. So it's a little bit behind the beat if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but your
Yeah, I had a
Steelo's looking real fresh.
oh shit, oh yeah, pimp and money. That's what it's about.
Gosh, yeah, we're here
Sad thing
today to
is
talk.
these.
Oh,
Sad thing
go
is
ahead.
I've
We
had
got a
these
delay.
forever. I've had these forever. Actually, usually they sit right over here, and it's funny because this is my office, and sometimes I have people ask me, oh, I see the dollar sign. What is that other one? And I'm like, oh, it says pimp, and
It's your dog
nothing but
tags.
professional. It's
It's what you
it's my
we used to wear during the.
DWDG.
Oh gosh, today we're here to talk about gin and juice. I guess we should tell all our new listeners what we even do here. Why don't you do that while I pour myself a Tanqueray and tonic?
There you go. So here on Under the Covers, we pick a song, and this week is "Gin and Juice" by the Snoop Doggy Dog. In the Dog Pound,
Oh
and we
yes, I
compare
have
it to a
juice, not
cover version.
tonic.
Yeah, we compare it to another cover song or a cover song that the band does, and then we compare and contrast. And at the end there we tell which one we like better. And this week's
Mm-hmm.
cover song is done not by Fish;
No,
it's by the band called the Gourds, uh, which a lot of people for years thought this was Fish, um, but it's not.
but it's not
It's not. So we'll get into that a little bit
the
later on how
gourds.
that all happened and where that came from. But I see Charlie there. You're sporting, the Chronic, the Tanqueray, and juice. I mean,
Yeah.
you're all into this.
Oh gosh, I'm so deep. I'm gonna get fucked up now. Tanqueray and chronic. I can just smell it on this mic. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I don't know if
So
I put
yeah,
enough
so this is
Tanqueray in here. It just kind of tastes like orange juice. So hey, at least I won't get scurvy.
scurvy. Well, you could have a half a bottle of that and be kind of like I was when I came in yesterday. So
Yeah, well, I got some D&D to play tonight, so I don't want to get too wasted before that.
to me, I think I would have to be absolutely wasted to go and be like, let's go play some D&D. Now, I
Yeah,
think
it's
we're getting
fun.
ready for Easter celebration tomorrow, so we've got some
Nice.
food in the oven and got some prep to do. So, but yeah, so yeah, Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice, the Gourds. Do we have a do we have a sponsor this week? Because I mean, I'm sure we're making some money.
We do.
I got
We
my
do
mind
have a
on my money.
sponsor. Um, and today's sponsor is Tanqueray and Chronic Candles. It's time to light up your crib with Tanqueray and Chronic candles. Are you tired of walking into your place after a wild night and being hit with a smell that's funkier than a skunk? Introducing the Tanqueray and Chronic candle, the ultimate weapon in the battle against party stank. Picture this. You've been throwing back gin and juice all night long. The chronic's been burning and the beats have been bumping. But when the party's over, what's left behind? A lingering funk that makes you say, "Bitch, please." That's where Tanqueray and Chronic candles come in, my friend. Infused with the invigorating scents of juniper and that good sticky icky, these candles will have you ready to drop it like it's hot. So don't let those post party odors harsh your mellow. Light up a Tanqueray and Chronic candle and let the good times roll as you roll up that blunt. Grab your Bic and burn one down today. Tanqueray and Chronic candles.
My gosh, do we get a second plug from Bic Lighters as well?
Bic was
Man,
in there, so they might have a partnership with the candle company. So
yeah, yeah. Uh,
um,
that was good, man. That's a great idea. I think I'll have to get some more of those candles for my house. Um, because
yeah,
down here
they
smells like beer because I spilled a beer yesterday on the way out. So
well they sent me a
some
couple
lingering
samples,
funk.
so I'll have to save one for you.
Nice,
But
nice.
uh, but yeah, our house band did put together a jingle for it too.
Oh, I
Um,
can't wait. God, they've
so
been working. They've been working a ton lately.
working their asses off, and I think they're doing a
Yeah,
great job. Um,
I I do too.
but yeah,
The
we'll
last
we'll get
last one was going to be my ringtone. I think I was so enthused about it that it was going to be my ringtone.
yeah, they're pretty good. So yeah, enjoy this this plug or this little ditty our house band put together. Light 'em up, Tangerine Chronic. Light 'em up, burn one down. Let me to my crib, look around. Last night's party last going down. Smell in the air got me feeling low. Like last night's girl in the bed. Man, it's Tangerine Chronic. Light 'em up, burn one down. Make it fresh. Gin and juice, chronic burn. Beats bumping with these motherfucking candles. We getting high, off in my fresh beats. Both body stank, man, this shit's real, bitch. We ain't gotta worry now, we got a plan. Tangerine Chronic, call me Batman. Tangerine Chronic, light 'em up, burn one, make it fresh, gin and juice. Chronic burn, beats bumping with these motherfucking candles. We getting high, juniper, sticky icky. That's the blend, let the shit drop like it's hot. Let the vibe take control. Light up another, blow a motherfucking Tangerine Chronic, light 'em up, burn one, make it fresh, gin and juice. Chronic burn, beats bumping with these motherfucking candles. We getting high. Grab your beat, roll a blunt, let it burn. Every day, Tangerine in my car. Sniff, sniff, smells good. Hell yeah, player, sniff, sniff. Blow our motherfucking minds. Smells good, sniff, sniff. We out.
Shit, we out. All right. So, I mean, there's ringtones by the mile here because, like, I think that's now the one that's got to be there.
Oh,
Uh, what was the hook in that song? Was it the sniff sniff motherfucker? This bitch stank.
you know, I think the whole song was the hook. You
And that
know,
was aggressive rap too. I mean, that guy's better get his, he better get some honey and tea or something like that, and make sure his throat's better for some of the next songs that we do.
yeah, yeah. Couldn't get Dr. Dre or Timberland for the beats there, but I think they did a pretty good job.
Right, right. Well, good man. I dig it. I dig it.
All right.
So let's jump into this.
Yes, Snoop
Snoop
Dogg,
Dogg,
Doggy Style.
Calvin Cardozer Brodus Jr. is
Pretty cool name.
yeah.
It's cooler than
I might have
Elgin Baylor Lumpkin.
dude. Yeah, biatch. Yeah, for sure. Word. Yeah. So I'm glad he did change that. Doggy Style came out in 1994 and was Snoop's debut album.
Mhm.
But a lot of cross pollination going on the West Coast there with these albums because it was produced by Dr. Dre, and
Mhm.
Dr. Dre was experiencing a ton of success from his The Chronic album, which was really where Calvin made his debut as a literary force.
Okay.
So those two albums kind of in the same stratosphere. I mean, they kind of orbit each other, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. What was it West Coast? What was the record? The beef between West Coast and East Coast. Snoop Dogg is the West Coast guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Death
And
Row.
Tupac
Was
was
he
the.
was he Death Row? Or
Yeah,
was
I'm
is
gonna
that
go with that.
or I don't know. But
Let me look that up.
I didn't do enough research on that. But yeah. Yeah, because I think Tupac and Dre and Snoop were all pals.
Yep. Yeah, it was. So yeah, the Death Row Records was founded by the DOC, Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, and Dick Griffey.
Little Richard.
Who's that dude? There you go.
Um,
And yeah, it was.
I
And
did. So you're
Tupac.
throwing out names here. And I know when we do styles like this, you like their little nicknames and quotes. I think there's a couple
Yeah.
people in this band that if you say them, I might have to just do the little bleep noise because we're even with your chains, we're a little too white.
Ye- well, it's funny. I got to come clean here. As the DOC, I thought I kind of figured what it is. I know what Suge Knight looks like. I know what Dr. Dre looks like. But
Hmm.
Dick Griffey, I thought maybe he was not, but he is.
Okay.
He's a record producer. Yeah. So, um, yeah, this all came from like NWA. It looks like Death Row
Yeah.
Records was kind of like like really the hub of everything. Um, but yeah, 92 and 92 is really when it kind of started really making the West Coast. Was it G? Is it G Funk? Uh, the sort of the dominant force in rap at the time. I think
G
that was
Funk, step
really
to this. I dare you. Um. So Snoop, did he do some singing and write some lyrics for the Chronic for Dr. Dre?
yeah, they were collaborators on that, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of Dr. Dre collaborations on the Doggy Style.
Dog
Um,
style.
yeah,
Yeah, and this was
which was
the second single from that album. The
really
first one, yeah, the first one was it's called "Who Am I? What's My Name?" That's the one where he's like Snoop Doggy
oh,
Dogg.
and there's that low voice, the I'm dog or whatever he says
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Guys, I'm just gonna come out and say I'm the whitest guy in the world. So, like most of these things, I don't know. Um,
It
but
might be
yeah,
whiter.
so I, yeah, the cover of Doggy Style is definitely full of little uh sexual innuendos.
Innuendos. Uh, yeah, I like the art style, like the
Yeah,
graffiti kind of art style of that.
I like it. I don't think it's aged well.
Mm,
Like where the
mm,
Chronic.
yeah.
If you get the Chronic,
Oh,
that thing's like
yeah.
epic,
That's
right?
just like a looks like a seal on a dollar bill or something.
Yeah, and it's just his face in the middle of it, right?
Hmm.
It's yeah. And then the Dogfather that came after that for Snoop Dogg. That one's cool because it's like the Godfather.
Nice. I can't picture that in my head
Yeah,
right now, but I'll have to check it out. Did you watch the video
yeah.
for this song
Is this where the one where
recently?
they? No, I haven't watched it recently, but isn't this where like the parents go away?
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
okay,
so I just rewatched it today, just maybe a couple hours before we recorded because I wanted to have it fresh in my mind, and it's pretty funny. It's like a bunch of kids jumping on a couch and a dad sitting there drinking a 40 in a paper bag, and the mom, they're kind of arguing and they're gonna go to some party or somebody's house, and and Snoop Dogg walks out all looking like he just got out of bed, and they tell him to don't have any parties or girls over, and he as soon as they leave, he does the whole and then it says "Homeboy Alone," like Home Alone. I forgot all about that,
wow,
and it's so great. Um, and I guess one of the little kids jumping on the couch is Little Bow Wow or Lil Bow Wow, not little
no,
Lil Bow Wow, and then also Dr. Dre, Warren G, and Nate Dogg all make appearances in the video. Um, but
nice.
he has to change a lot of the lyrics. There's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of yeah, it almost sounds different as well, but yeah, there's just a lot of lyrics he had to change, like the different words, like chronic and stuff like yeah. I just noticed a lot of different lyrics in the album version.
oh yeah. Well, it's funny you're talking about the album here, and I have a bit that I'm reading here called the title significance. This is about the Doggy Style, and I love the way Wikipedia sort of it's very proper, right? So it says the album's title alludes to the doggy style sex position and is a reference to the musician's name. The artwork, which was done by artist Joe Cool, can't make that shit up. Like Joe Cool, really? Represents the themes covered in the album and the style of implementation of those ideas. Some critics believe that the artwork portrays a woman merely. I'm sorry, I'm going to start this sentence over because I'm laughing too much. So, some critics believe the artwork portrays a woman merely as a whole to be filled by the man, which they believe adheres to the narcissistic and sexual lyrical themes Snoop Dogg covers. I'm like,
Oh God,
what?
that kind of made me blush a little as you were reading
Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, there's also too when I was reading about the lyrics, like how they were trying to explain them. This is again, the lyrics depict a party filled with sex, marijuana, and alcohol, continuing into the small hours of the morning.
I mean, that's an apt
Ah,
description. It's succinct and
it is.
and on the nose. That's great.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and yeah. So it's look. I think it's cool themes. I mean, the one thing though is I understand that money is driving all this stuff. I mean, especially with these guys. I mean, their songs constantly had references to money.
hmm
But I worry that at this point Snoop Dogg has fallen into the realm of sellout. What do you feel about that? How do you? I mean,
so I had to note here that I think he's a savvy businessman because I wouldn't
oh, savvy
say
business.
so. I see what you're saying. So the gangster vibe that he was putting off at the beginning of his career has definitely softened, and now he's appealing
Yeah,
to everybody. He's in commercials all the time. I literally saw him in a commercial for the Olympics, the Summer Olympics earlier today with the two beach
yeah.
volleyball girls. He's in commercials for Corona, Tostitos. He's in commercials with Martha Stewart. He's in a big commercial with Willie Nelson and Martha Stewart. He's got his own wine. Like he's definitely softened his image. So I see. I think that's kind of where you're going with the whole sellout, where he's just, hey, I'm
And
not just.
and see, I can handle Bic, and I can handle the weed, and I can handle kind of Corona to a degree. Now, would I think it should be Tanqueray? Yeah, I mean that should be probably the thing it is. But when it starts to go, you know, to T-Mobile, I was like, okay, well, whatever. Beyond Meat, Skechers,
Oh yeah.
SodaStream,
Oh,
Petco. I
Echo.
mean, look, dude. Yeah, like like what? Now, let me say this: if it's Petco and he's doing something about dogs, I mean, maybe I can kind of
Mm-hmm.
make a stretch there. But I mean, he's got a cookbook. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just come on, dude.
He's
There
best
starts to
buds with.
there starts to it starts to get a little much to me.
Yeah. I can see your point. I think it's like I say, smart business by him. It's kind of like Patrick Mahomes being in State Farm commercials. Like,
Yeah. Um. And look, I mean, you got the Rolling Stones out on tour, sponsored by AARP. Jesus. I
nice.
mean, first of all, good signing. I mean, that's a win for AARP. Let me say that.
Yeah, yeah. They know the crowd that's
But
going to see him too.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I guess there's something about I'm in branding and stuff like that. So
Hmm
look and look, these guys got into this to make money. They were from Compton. They were in the shit. So man, I mean, they do talk about money. I mean, it's not like you got Green Days out there. I'm sure they're doing shit too, but I don't know. I'm on a rant now.
Yeah, I I I think that you brought up the cookbook and yeah, his friendship with Martha Stewart uh, seems genuine, and they've been buds for a long time. Uh, I think he was like a guest on one of her cooking shows once, and they kind of kept up relationships since then, and they've done. a bunch of different stuff together. I think she's part of his wine, 19 Crimes as well. Um,
Yeah.
which I think you had a bottle for a while.
Do you
Did you
think
ever
that they?
drink that?
I probably did. I probably did yesterday before we had this. It was sort of a train wreck of my night. But do you think that him and Miss Martha Stewart, do you think that they talked about um, women being merely a hole to be filled by a man?
Possibly.
Amongst there, she's just stirring. So
I mean,
you think
she's
I'm just a hole to be filled?
she's she's a looker. She's a good looking woman. I'm sure Snoop's
She is.
you know tried to hit that, or they just could be friends.
You
I
think they
don't know.
did?
I'd like to think so.
You think they did? You think they tried it? Yeah.
At least once.
I think we should put a poll out there. I wonder how many people think that they did. I bet you. I bet you it's a high. I bet you it's a high. I bet you it's 60% of the world, or like answers would say, yeah, I bet you they did.
Oh yeah. I think it's the opposite. Tell us. Tell us. We want to poll our listeners. Maybe we'll put the poll on Facebook. We probably get shut down if we do that.
Yeah, that'd be our
So
first.
I won't do
Not our
that.
first violation. Do you think how bad of a first poll is that? Do you think Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg did it?
Um, also, while I was doing my research on Snoop's business savviness, I did see he actually had candles. Um, he had a candle line.
He had candles.
Oh shoot, I didn't write it down, but it was his. What's his surname again? Like Cleet.
Calvin.
Uh, no, like his
Oh,
last name.
Brodus.
Yeah, I think it was Brodus
Brodus.
Candles or something. But he had one called D's Nuts, and then in parentheses, roasting on an open fire.
That's
And
amazing.
then the other scent was like a normal one, like it was like lilacs in the summer. Yeah, it was just funny. Like,
These nuts are roasting up. Yeah, you can imagine him going into a meeting, like, and they're like, "Okay, here's all the things that we got here. Smell these," and then he's like, "Yeah, this one should be these nuts," and they're like, "Okay." I mean, I'm gonna
uh,
have to buy those at that actually. Yes. So it's good business, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I've been
Should we?
giving the song a listen.
Do you know is Tanqueray the gin and juice? Is it literally the same recipe that you have on Tanqueray.com?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't go to Tanqueray.com.
Is it?
Um,
Do you have a
I don't have a
fresh orange
gang.
juice,
I
pineapple
just have
juice,
a.
lime, ice? Oh,
Oh, I, um, I have orange juice. I have
there
pineapple
you go.
mango splash. I've got
There you
raspberry
go.
lemonade. I've got regular lemonade, and I also wanted grapefruit juice, but they didn't have them in these little bottles, so I bought a big bottle of grapefruit juice. But I think after this OJ's gone, I'm gonna
So,
try the pineapple mango.
so you spent probably twice as much on juices than you did on the actual Tanqueray itself.
Oh no, no, these were like $1.50, and Myers had an M Perks deal that
Oh,
if you spent $5 on juice, get $1 off. So I actually saved money by buying more.
let let me please tell me that you went to Meyer and picked up Tanqueray and 5 types of juices.
Yes, I did. I also bought a little liter of
No.
tonic. I was gonna buy
It's like the
Seagram's
time
because
when we
it's
went and
cheaper, but
ordered. It's like the time that we ordered all the stuff from Half Baked on Nick's Lost Weekend, and how proud we were.
oh my god, that
So,
was great.
so for those that don't know, and I might as well come clean to my mom who's going to listen to this. Is I I'm not much of the chronic kind of guy. It's just never been my deal. But and I didn't know until very late in life that there was really two fundamental types of weed, and it's the indica, right?
Yep. Yep.
Indica
Indica,
and sativa.
sativa.
So I had said with a couple friends, one of them being Charlie here, I want to try I want to see what the difference is. And family was going away like this, so we decided to have a Knicks loss weekend, um, which was basically we were going to spend one day doing one, and then the next day doing the other. And the which one is it that we're supposed to be? That's supposed to make you very creative.
Sativa.
Is it the
That's the one
sativa?
we.
So we did the
That's
sativa
what.
because we're just like we have all day.
Yeah, which was a great idea
Yeah,
because we need it all day.
it was a great idea. So we smoked this a little bit, and we started having great ideas. The first of which is we needed an idea board. So I tear off a wall in my studio a dry erase board that we decided to put other ideas on. So the first idea was get an idea board. The second
Check.
idea was build a stand for the iBoard. Which Charlie, I don't know, still don't know where he got the sticks. The guy had sticks like in his back pocket.
Need a tripod.
Needless to say, back when I was in college, me and my roommate there, we used to love the movie Half Baked. It was really funny, and so we thought it would be just absolutely hilarious to order from sort of a DoorDash kind of a thing or a Shipt or whatever it is. Literally all the products that the guy says when he's going to go to the store. So get some sour cream and onion chips, man, with some dip, and go through the whole thing. And we ordered it, and dude came to the door, and I was blown out of my mind. He was probably like, what the literal fuck here? So someday we'll post. There's a picture of the idea board somewhere.
Yeah, well,
which
we also
actually
changed it.
After that,
We changed it to the
Yes.
idea board.
that was probably the best idea out of the whole fucking thing. Was this would be great if we named it the idea board. So yeah, and I think it was the next night that we were trying to do the low. I don't know. Was that the same night when you showed me that movie?
No, that night we took a gummy,
Oh,
and that was sativa or a hybrid.
My gosh. Yeah. So, Charlie, you got to tell. Well, the only thing I know is again, I'm not a weed guy, right? So I'm not even. I don't function well on these things, right? And Chuck wants to show me a movie. He thinks it's hilarious. It's great. And so kids go to bed. We take this gummy.
It was
go ahead.
Pandemic time, so we were all locked down. Didn't have anywhere to go the next day, and we had decided, we were drinking enough beer. Let's get some weed too. So we went and picked up some gummies, and then I think a week later, I had seen this movie Jojo Rabbit. That it's hilarious. It's sad. It's a brilliant movie. But anyways, I didn't tell Nick anything about it. And so I think we were drinking plenty of beers. We sit down to watch this movie, and I think in the first 5 minutes we had to pause it like 3 times each time for like at least 5 to 10 minutes.
I didn't know that there's Hitler kids right in the beginning of this thing, like straight up. And I'm like, what sort of propaganda am I watching here?
And one of the kids, his imaginary friend is Adolf Hitler. And
yeah. And so he comes poking his head in, what? Hello? And I'm like, what? That's not what. I'm blown away now. I'm blown at that one Oscars and stuff. How could that even be made? That's what I don't understand.
Well, because it wasn't a Nazi propaganda movie. It was like anti-Nazi. So it was just...
I obviously I was under the influence and I didn't get that. I definitely didn't get that message. I got this message of, what is Charlie trying to turn me into here? That's good. It's just It was like, wow. So yeah, the song "Gin and
Gin and
Juice."
juice.
It's 3 minutes and it's 3 minutes and 31 seconds long. It's actually shorter than I thought. I in my head I thought it was slower, and I thought it was longer, um, which is what she said. And it's 409 million listens on this one, so definitely people stacking up the listens here. We're gonna give it a listen, but you guys won't hear it because we don't have that sort of coin quite yet to get the licensing. So we've prepared a little ditty for you. Please enjoy that while we're waiting. But you can also go find our playlist on Spotify. You look up Under the Covers playlist with our logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can find all the songs there. So, and actually, you get kind of a preview if you really wanted to on what songs are coming up next. So yeah, we'll play it and we'll come back in a few minutes.
Raise up off these NUTs. Biatch.
Biatch. Um, dude, that's a cruising song for sure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just want to drive slow and turn it up full blast because
Yeah,
that's what it's made for. In the
it's got a
LBC.
cool jam for sure. That groove to it. I put down the beats.
So it's not an overly complicated song. It's the same thing kind of over and over again. There's little embellishments all the way through. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting to listen to in this with earphones on. The vocals, like the guests, I mean, you definitely hear Dre. You definitely hear some other dude saying a couple things. You have a girl every once in a while,
Laid.
and it's yeah, the laid back. But I think it's cool how you have these things, and it's just very effortlessly. It stays within a groove. Like it never
Mm-hmm.
goes above, never goes below. It's very cruisy.
Yeah, yeah, I like that part. To your point about the singers in the back, the Mac into this bitch named Sadie, and then somebody goes Sadie, and then she used to be the homeboy's lady, and then oh that bitch, like all conversational,
Oh,
like
that bitch. Which is again, I wonder how they. It would be cool to see how they like came about that, right? Like
mm-hmm,
because I mean, again, the oh that bitch, you don't hear that. People don't. I mean, I'm not sure people pick that up in the song as a casual listener,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was like what was it? Who's this or who's
Yeah,
that?
it's just like
How did he say it?
Sadie with a
Sadie.
question mark, and then he
Yeah.
says, used to be the homeboy's lady, and he's like, oh that bitch, like like I said, it's like a conversation within a song.
Yeah, and his rapping just kind of flows. And it's like those other people kind of like pop in. But there are a couple spots where he does these little nuances where he's like, "May I pause, kick a little something for the G's," and like
Hmm.
his delivery is so smooth, but there's just enough of those little elements that make it interesting hearing verse after verse after verse.
Hmm. Yeah, he seems like a very like chill kind of
Yeah.
rapper singer. Just like his whole vibe, like
Mm-hmm.
just when he's talking, it's like he's singing. Like he's just always got that kind of smooth, just vibe
Yeah.
to everything from a conversation to a song.
Now, the one thing I thought was odd, I didn't know he'd be banging chicks on a cot. I thought that was a little weird because I envision a cot being very different than a bed, markedly different actually.
Yeah,
But
I think he maybe
with
used that to rhyme, and he wasn't really
mm,
talking literally about a cot, but
pop
I
up
could be
off the
wrong.
cot, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah, having sex on a cot
yeah,
does not sound like a great time, but uh, Yeah, I'd take anything
But
right now.
yeah.
So yeah,
Shit. I'm glad you said that because I was gonna
I know
say
you
it,
were
but
thinking it.
since you said it, I was like, all
I
right.
got in front of you.
I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So, nah, it's a good song. Like I said, and I understand why. Now it ends pretty abruptly, in my opinion. I don't just because I have it in my playlist. I'm not sure what the song comes after it, but I'd like to hear that song and go in there. But it kind of ends abruptly. So, did you feel that?
Yeah, and so I felt the same way, and I actually started listening to this album the other day because, to be honest, I've never listened to it. There's like I think I know
Mm-hmm.
this song, and then that "Who Am I? What's My Name?" And I think after this song was something about a shower or something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Uh,
I thought it'd be about candles.
oh, the Shiznit. It was the bathtub. That's what I was thinking. That was the first song. But the Shiznit is the next song. But yeah, I think this album,
Nice.
as you're listening to it, everything kind of flows into each other, and there's like the weird kind of skit
Yeah.
talky parts, like at the beginning of this song.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
So so I think that's
yeah.
kind of how that
I'm
whole
not real big
album
on the
flows.
talkies.
Now it reminds me of
I'm
like an
sure.
Adam Sandler album when he would do that when he'd put out his albums with songs and then in
Oh yeah.
between there'd be like skits.
Which yeah, and it's interesting because you bring up Adam Sandler there. So there's some sacred things, some odd sacred things that I kind of believe in music. And number one is I don't really like making fun of music. I don't like it being a joke. And then some of those things in the beginning are like you were talking about the Adam Sandler thing. They're they're again, I feel like it's getting too jokey and kind of cuts away from the music.
Hmm.
However, there's exceptions to that rule. Like Tenacious D is a I mean, they make really good music, but they
Hmm.
do have those skits and those things in the middle there. So again, there's going to be exceptions to the rule. But when you get down to it, for the longest time, I wasn't sure if the Gourds version was a was meant to be a joke. Like it felt jokey to me, but that
Uh-huh.
was before I knew anything else of what they do, like in their style and all the other stuff that goes along with the Gourds. So
Yeah.
did you ever feel that way? Like it was like, oh, we're making fun of this song of Gin and Juice, not doing it in just a different style.
Personally, no, I didn't have that feeling, when I first heard this song when I first heard Fish cover it off of Napster when I downloaded it. Did not did not think it was
That's
a
exactly right.
joke. Um no, I honestly I just thought it was more of a not yeah, cuz I was going to say parody, but it's not a parody because that's a joke and it's changing everything, but I
Yeah,
think it was just yeah, I never really felt like it was making fun of anything. I think it was more of a homage, um,
yeah,
which
yeah.
it kind
Well,
of turns out
that's
to
good.
be.
Yeah, and you touched on this here because again, this band. I mean, they did this song. The Gourds is the band, and the album that they
Mhm.
did it on was in 2001 on the album Shine Box. But for
Actually,
some reason, if you downloaded this, what?
it was first released on uh, "Go Get Your Shine Box" in 1998.
Ah,
Um,
oh, well, look at
they
that. I
re-released
got all
it
my
on
bad notes here.
Shinebox. The only reason I bring that up is because I had a note.
I
I
see.
was like, it's all one word. It's all put together. Go get your Shinebox. So it's like hard to read. You
Ah,
have to like look into it. So I was like, well, what the fuck's a Shinebox? So I Googled it, and a Shinebox is a box a shoe shiner would have. But I think the name
yeah,
of this album and that term came from the Goodfellas movie. So
yes,
because I read
which is awesome. I love that scene.
yeah, when the guy tells what's his face, Joe Pesci, to go get his shine
Yeah,
box, he basically says, I think I wrote it down. Hey Tommy, if I was gonna break your balls, I'd tell you to go home and get your shine box. So so I think the Gourds probably pulled the name of that from that song. or that movie. Sorry,
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of
yeah,
interesting.
no, that makes sense. And oh yeah, that's really interesting. But getting back to this confusion is that if you illegally downloaded this song and on off Napster, or and I'll say this, I got this even in another area at a different time in my life, that from another friend that will remain unnamed. Um, if you put that into Apple iTunes, it would come up as Fish as the artist, the jam band Fish.
Hmm.
Um, and if you think about that, that's pretty amazing, because there's probably one person that titled that song like as the artist being Fish way back in the day. I mean, coming from Austin, Texas, where this band is or whatever, and it like proliferated, you know, everywhere. I mean, you type in gin and juice even now, and there's the search comes up Fish,
Hmm.
and it's crazy how much proliferation that has gotten.
Yeah, and I actually read an interview with Kevin Russell from, or not read, I actually watched it. He has a video of it. But Kevin Russell, he's one of the singers, plays guitar, mandolin, probably multi instrumentalist. But he was talking about the story on how that happened, and I guess yeah, he said one of his buddies called him up, and they're like, "Hey, your song's on Napster, but it's listed under Fish," and he's like, "What the heck? That's weird." So he actually found a way to contact Napster and be like, "Hey, can you change it to our name because that's our song?" And I guess the guy from Napster or the people from Napster were like, "No, it's a peer to peer site. People can put whatever name they want on the song, and we can't change it." So that's yeah. So somebody's
Jeez.
mistake just, and I guess he had said he had talked to somebody from the band Fish. I think he said the bass player at one point, and Fish, they would get people in their concert asking them to play this song. Like that's how
Yeah.
much this like just seeped into the culture as everybody was like, "This is a Fish song." They were screaming for it at concerts.
Right. Right. So the Gourds were, a band from 1996 to 2013. They were a heavy touring, man. They actually had a lot of similarities to what Fish kind of does, like, which is heavy touring, like a dedicated following, lots of tapers. But in 2013 they went on hiatus. Was never really reason given why. Just, I mean, they were together for
Hmm.
17 years, touring and doing different stuff. But they did reunite. There is a cool video online at the Old Settlers Festival in 2023, and they do gin and juice on there. They do kind of an extended jam, which is kind of cool. I watched it earlier.
Nice, nice.
Excuse me. But they're out of Austin, Texas, which um, I'm excited for. We have a guys trip planned down there. Charlie, myself, and a
Hmm.
good buddy, and it looks like we're going to do a remote under the covers there, which will be exciting.
Hmm.
And I'm sure we'll be probably in the mood that I was either last night,
Yeah.
or feeling like the way I am right now. So I don't think there's going to be much middle ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, One thing I also wanted to note about this band before we listen to the song was they definitely have a few other covers. Ziggy Stardust comes to mind as
Mm-hmm.
probably the other cover that's of a really famous song. But they also have a cover of Everybody's Missing the Sun, which I didn't realize that was a cover. And I always liked that song. It's just kind of this
Mm-hmm.
fun, upbeat ditty kind of thing. And but when I read it was a cover, I looked into it and it was a band called Grin, who was started by, and this song was written by Nils Lofgren, who formed Grin with a
Oh
couple
yeah.
other guys. And it all comes full circle back to Bruce Springsteen again, like 3 episodes in a row, because Nils Lofgren was part of the E Street Band, took over for Steven Van Zandt when he left. So can't get away from
Oh
Bruce,
yeah. Bruce. Bruce.
the
Every time
boss.
I hear Bruce, by the way, I think of the shark. I think about the shark in Finding Nemo. By the way, Bruce is
Oh,
the shark.
yeah, nice.
Um, the one thing I will say before we get into the song here is if you like this version, if you like this song, you will likely enjoy a lot of the Gourds catalog. It really, I think, has a lot of traits that you'll hear and themes,
Hmm.
sounds, those sorts of things. So hopefully you do enjoy it, because I enjoy this band.
Yeah.
This band kind of, their catalog kind of goes in and out of my playlist from time to time, and not just this song, but this song here I think is awesome. I love the way they do
Yeah.
it. So
And real quick, I meant to bring this up earlier, but yeah, got lost in the Tanqueray. Um, but in that same interview, when Kevin Russell talks about this song being mislabeled by as Fish, he does talk about how they decided to do this song, and I guess his
nice.
so he said back in the early '90s he was not listening to this type of music at all, but his sister listened to pretty much everything and enjoyed
Hmm.
rap and everything. So she introduced him to the song. He said he really liked it, and he had one of those moments where like I got to figure out how to play this, and so from there on he
Yeah.
said. And he was like, "Yeah, I didn't even have internet, so I would just listen to the song over and over and try to write all the lyrics down, because he couldn't just Google the lyrics." And
Nice.
um, but yeah, he
Yeah.
said it was a months in the making, but he finally found this hook, and they just rolled from there. So it definitely, wasn't a joke to them. He really enjoyed the song and just wanted to make it like in their style. So I thought that was interesting too.
Nice. Well, it's
But
significantly longer.
hmm
It's at about 6 minutes and 24 seconds long. The Shinebox version, which I don't have the original. There's 22 million plays on Spotify. So are we ready to dive into this? I mean,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited
and
to
I
hear it.
think I
I
think
haven't heard
the
it in
the
like
Go Get Your
a little while.
Shine
So
box was a um, limited release. Like I think it was very limited. I
okay,
found it on Discogs only in CD. It's not like easy to find. So this is
nice,
definitely like the mainstream version. Um, and to your point about
perfect.
the Snoop Dogg version being shorter than it feels, this one is shorter than it feels. Like it's twice as
For
long,
sure.
but it doesn't feel like it's a 6.5 minute song. So, anyways, sorry. We'll
Right.
listen to it. I'll stop talking.
No, no, I think it's good. I think it's great. I'm excited to listen to it. So,
Yeah.
all right, same deal as before. You're gonna hear a little ditty, and we'll see you in 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Well, they definitely know how to build the song as it goes along.
They do. They do. That's fun. All those breakdowns and build back up. It's awesome.
and it's funny because we were just talking about the Snoop Dogg version, where it's a cruising song all the way through. It's sort of same all the way through. They build it up, like you said, kind of break it down and then build it up again to kind of get you to the climax of the end there.
Hmm.
Um, so and it's a very simple song. I mean, it's just the chord structure is just A to D all the way through. Never changes. Which you could be a risk, because you could get boring, especially over 6 minutes and 24 seconds. I think that's um, but um,
Hmm.
but man, they do a hell of a job. So I guess so popular.
Yeah. Yeah. The harmonies in it. The way it starts out so slow and just kind of builds up, just kind of bringing in more instruments and turning up the volume as they go. It's cool the way they did it. And I could also see,
Yeah,
like, to your point, where you first heard this and thought, okay, this is a joke. They're picking on this genre, this song, whatever. But because of the way he sings it. But if you listen to the other Gourds, also to your point, this is what they are and what they do and what they sound like. So
right. Um, and the thing is, you were talking about turn up the volume. They're playing for the most part acoustical instruments, so it's it's not like an electric guitar where you can just, oh, I'm just going to put more volume here. With a mandolin like the main guy's playing, I mean, it's the sound, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't play that louder. But what they do is they definitely bring in more instruments, so
Mm-hmm.
that creates dramatic builds. They do
Polar
speed up and
sound.
slow down,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and one of the other things that they do and is they use a it's called a seventh chord. And so seventh chord is like you hear a major and a minor, so they kind of have different sounds. Well, a seventh chord sounds like suspended or
Like
like, oh,
unfinished.
it's not quite all the way changed. Yeah, and the
Mm-hmm.
the cool thing is when you use the right way, and here they use it as they're pushing it further. Most times, or a lot of times, seventh chords are used to kind of put back, but a lot of the differences in those chords you hear are sevenths, and it makes it sound like they're almost ready to fall off the rails. And we talk about this a lot for other songs, like that how it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, this is ready to fall apart. But they do a great job of using that to make the song more exciting and in those bigger areas, and I think they execute it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Great production all the way through here.
Yeah.
And they say about themselves and about their band that they were DIY all the way. I mean, they didn't have producers and stuff, so to produce something like this and make sure all those sounds and everything are in the right spot, I mean, did a great job with production.
Hats off to you, the Gourds. Um.
Now I will say
So
this: I messed up one of the lyrics. Go ahead.
no, I was just pouring myself some more Tanqueray during the listen, and I hadn't noticed, but I share a name with the Tanqueray company, Charles Tanqueray and Co. So
Oh,
cheers, Charles.
look at you go! So I had a misheard lyric up until just now.
Yeah.
That well, actually, it was until when I started doing this. Is remember how I mentioned that when he said he was, I'm ready to pop up off the cot. Okay, for years I thought the lyric was when I bust my nut, I'm ready to pop a cop, and I thought,
Oh,
wow, that was really aggressive. Like when you like poochoo, that
you're
that you
so
become so filled with rage that you want to go kill a police officer.
when it's usually the
Like,
opposite. You're just so chill after you bust a nut. So yeah.
I
So
guess, yeah, yeah. I
but
mean,
yeah,
I was
I
like,
think
that's some
he's just
that's
saying
some real
he's
rage.
he ain't spending the night. See ya.
No, yeah, oh yeah, I got that after I read the lyrics yesterday. I think I was like, oh, well, what's he doing on a cot? I thought he was gonna go fuck the police, kind of a thing. So
Well, they do have ties to NWA there with Dre.
they all got attitudes, right? So I'm ready to make my call here. I think I'm first this time. So
Yeah.
mind if we go there?
Yeah. Let's do it.
So Snoop Dogg, he wrote it, delivered it. The groove and production are second to none, and they're it's definitely a song that everybody knows, appreciates, and it sort of defined an era. It was one of those big moments in rap, or you know that kind of music there. However, the Gourds jam style. Again, I'm going to put it a little bit of comedy. I think there are parts of that they're like, this is sort of funny that I'm saying some of the stuff I'm saying, and I just feel like the bluegrass style and the alt rock, country rock style is more to what I want to listen to, and
Hmm.
I like the way the song builds up and brings me to a climax where I don't want to pop a cop. I want to just get up off the cot. And so I'm going to rate these guys as my favorite, the Gourds. I'm going to go with
Nice.
it. Shit, I'll never get used to it.
Yeah, so I came into the song um, just automatically thinking I was going to pick the Gourds. That song holds a special place with me. Used to listen to it. In fact, you and I used to we played it when we had our short-lived band there for a while, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fun song. It's a fun song to sing along to. Um, it's easy to sing along to, even if you're singing the wrong lyrics. But yeah, listening more to the Snoop Dogg version recently, I just have a lot of respect for it. It's got a real smooth, fun groove. I like all the different background vocals. To Nick's point, I love everything he loves about the Gourds version. I thought I was going to pick the Gourds, but again, the more I kept listening to both over and over again, I'm going with Snoop.
Nice.
So
Whoa, was there two dings? Would you get? You get two bangs?
no, you might have just heard an echo, even though I have the echo
Uh,
cancellation on. I banged it pretty hard. I busted the nut on it. Oh God, no, I didn't.
I thought you banged a gong.
Yes,
Uh,
I'm T-Rex over here.
well, good. Well, let it be said. Let it be written. We're we have differences in opinions there. So but that's the way it goes. That's why I don't like these hoes, and I've got to goes so I can get some pizza rose. Did you see how I did that? I fucking
God damn, you're great.
rapped like a motherfucker.
But yeah, thank you everybody for listening. We appreciate everybody's continued support and all the new listeners. We hope you enjoyed. Um, Everybody who came back, we hope you enjoyed. We do want to hear from you though. Did Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart hook up? Leave us leave us a comment, a message. Let us know. We need to know. Um, but yeah,
All right. Well, until next time, we'll see you soon.
yep, we'll love y'all.